How would you say that you've evolved as an athlete here at Fordham?
Just as, my old running back coach that's always told me, don't forget what got you to the top of the mountain. And that's just been hard work every day and keeping my head down, staying humble, and just pushing myself to be the best football player that I can. And along with one thing that I have to do is step into a leadership role more vocally and just keep the team playing to the standard that Coach Moore wants us to play at.
You're going to be, I guess, relied upon as one of the leaders of the team this year because, you were part of the team last year. Has somebody, come up to you and asked you about playing the Fordham style of football and what it's like here? Have you been able to talk to a lot of the younger guys so far?
Yeah, with a lot of freshmen coming up, they do look at some of the guys who played last year just for asking questions and just, wanting to know how the culture is here. And, I have brought some guys under my arms and just told them, you got to just stay humble, work hard every day, and be the best football player that you're going to be. And one thing I try to point out to the guys is that the younger freshmen is that it's camp, and it's a lot of practices right now, and you're gonna have good days at camp. You're even gonna have bad days at camp. And one thing is just to keep pushing it. Don't get down on yourself because I know it's a new experience for you. You want to do it the best you can, but it really is just the way the sport works. You have good days, you have bad days, but it's really about how you respond to those.
Who were some of your inspirations growing up? What got your attention? Who got you into football? Who were some of your inspirations growing up?
My father, Edmonds. He actually my first year playing football, I was about 6, and I went to practice and I got hit, started crying, told my mom I wanted to quit. And, my dad told me, you'll never quit, nothing in life. It turns out I'm here now, and it's just that I look to my father for so much inspiration. He really does drive me every day to see him in his life because I just want him to give him the world, to be honest, and he really does push me.
Is there any player that you would say that you've watched and stylized your play after, or are you creating your own game when you're out there on the field?
Growing up, we had LaShawn McCoy. I grew up watching LaShawn McCoy right down the street from me, and he went to the school right down the street, and everybody wants to be like Shady. And he growing up just watching LaShawn McCoy just get injured in high school, break his ankle, and go to prep school and then just grind through it and end up being one of the best running backs in the NFL. It really inspires me every day to ignore the noise and just whatever people have to critique, whatever people have to compliment you on, you just worry about yourself and you worry about getting better as a player every single day.
With all the preseason awards and hype and everything, how do you stay humble and hungry? How do you stay humble and hungry?
That's just how I was brought up. My dad always told me that you can't ever take anything for granted in this world, and you take everything that God has given you as a blessing and a learning lesson, and you just keep your head down. And I always have this saying that men of God become men of blessings, so I really do give it to God. And it's great that I get all this, but really I owe it to my teammates, I owe it to my line, my coaching staff, and it's so much more that goes into these preseason accolades than just the individual.
What did it mean for you to have the opportunity, because not a lot of people have an opportunity to play football collegiately, what did that mean for you to have that opportunity?
It was a dream come true. I remember the first day I got my first offer from Fordham, I actually cried in my room just because I was kind of a sleeper. Nobody really was offering me. I had coaches say I might have been too small to play running back, and just to get that opportunity and hear from Coach Bryant that they're going to offer me a scholarship, it really is a blessing to be out here. With the Big 33 Foundation, we have the buddy system, and it really opens your eyes to see how these kids look up to you as a football player, and it's so much more to life than just playing football. So you really don't want to take it for granted. You really want to just come out here and enjoy it. Like I said, when you have good days and bad days, you don't want to. It's not the end of the world. Football is not the end of the world, but it's such a blessing to be out here. Well, just to add to the element of the success, like I said, you don't forget what got you where you're at, and that's just hard work, dedication every single day. And some things that I feel like I added myself was, I put about 10 to 12 pounds on my frame, so I'm a little more physical running in between the tackles. And one thing I'm trying to work on is my hands outside of the backfield and more third down pass pro. And that's one thing that I really did struggle last year. That's really my weakness, to be honest. And I really want to be the most complete running back that I can be and the most complete football player that I can be to help this team win football games. So that's one thing that I'm trying to add to my element.
For the younger athletes out there, talk about gaining weight a little bit, because different athletes do it differently. What are some of your key success to gaining that muscle/weight?
Well, most of my weight gain came in the winter. We did our winter conditioning program, and because you don't really run as much in the winter as you do in the summer, so when you hit the weights, you just gotta eat right. That's the most important thing. All these people try to tell you these supplements and these substances that to use, and it's not always really the way to go. You can really gain weight just naturally just by eating right, eating maybe an extra meal a day, putting some protein shakes in you, and that's how I really did it.
How do you balance being not only a student but an athlete here at Fordham University?
You got to have a schedule. You got to make sure you're organized. The academic inquiry here is really it's extreme, and it's something that you really just got to want to do, and you can't just come here and expect just to be just a football player, because you'll learn very quickly that it doesn't go like that. And one thing that I do is just keep my planner with me, make sure I'm scheduled, make sure I have everything done throughout the day, and just try to stay on top of things, because once you start getting behind on assignments and work, it really is a struggle.
How do you feel like sports helps you to be mentally sharp with maintaining that balance between being a student and an athlete? Do you find
Yes.
being out here in the field keeps you sharp and active for when you get into the classroom?
Yes, it really does, just because to be out here on this field is just a blessing. And if you want to stay out here on the field, you got to get it done in the books. You got to make sure you're eligible. You got to make sure you got that 3.0 that you want, that you strive for. And being in sports really just helps you become a better person. You learn what it means to be accountable for yourself and to be accountable for other people who depend on you. So that's one thing that I take to the classroom, that I hold myself accountable to get homework done. I hold myself accountable to study for a test and such.
What would be a fun fact that nobody knows about you?
Fun fact that nobody knows about me. I'm not. I guess I love to play video games. I'm a video game fanatic. That's all I do is work out, play video games, play football. I love FIFA, so if anybody wants to play me in FIFA, I'm accepting all challenges.
Aside from FIFA, what are some of your other favorite video games?
I really was a Madden fanatic at one point, but then Kevin Anderson brought me on to FIFA, and that's really all I play now. I play a little bit of Call of Duty in there, here and there.
How would you say your teammates would describe you?
Outside of football?
Yeah, outside of football.
Probably energetic, because when I get on this football field, it's different to me. I really treat it like it's the last thing on this earth. But outside of football, energetic. Sometimes funny. I would say people could describe me as funny and just different.
The first 2 games you have are against very challenging teams. What does that mean for you as a competitor, as an athlete, to have an opposing team that's going to challenge you and bring you up to that level that you want to become?
Oh, I can't wait for it. That's all I think about is week 1, week 2. And it's not just the season's not just about those 2 games, but the fact is that our hardest 2 games of the year are going to be Army and Villanova, and I can't wait for the moment. I can't wait just to prove that this team hasn't dropped off, and we're going to shock the nation. I really believe that. I believe we keep working hard and take it a day at a time, that things will really go our way. And as long as we play our best and play at our tempo, and the defense does what the defense does best and make turnovers, we'll be perfectly fine.
I'm sure you don't want to reflect on it, but what did that mean for you to have won the Patriot League last year? I'm sure you're looking at this year, but I mean, just talk a little bit about that. Reflect on it a little.
It shows you that playing to the standard that Coach Moore always talks about, coming out every day, every practice, every rep, and really holding yourself accountable and your teammates accountable, that you have to just keep pushing yourself, and you can't feel sorry for yourself, because everybody else in the nation is doing exactly what we're doing right now. Everybody's practicing in 90-degree weather. Everybody's sweating. Everybody's tired. Everybody's sore. And if you really want to be the best, you just got to work to be the best. And that's really what it showed me last year.
And lastly, any message for the fans at home to get them to come out here, watch you, support you during the 2015 season? What's your message for the fans at home?
It's going to be a great, great season. I hope that we do have more fans to come out this year. I hope that people really know that Fordham Rams are going to be a top 25 program, and we're going to be elite, and go Rams like always.